Hypocrite, first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you'll see clearly. That's what biblical self-confrontation is entirely built upon. It was built upon this idea of taking the scriptures and examining your life, self-examination, in light of the scriptures to see where do I measure up. Now, that's not our inclination. Our tendency is to look at the scriptures and think immediately how they might apply to somebody else. I've certainly experienced this over the years. There's been many times where someone will come up to me after I've taught a challenging message on a Sunday, and they'll say, Pastor Miles, that was a great message. When will it be put online? I need to send that to my brother. It is not easy to confront ourselves with the challenging teaching of the scriptures. Far easier for us to look at the speck in our brother's eye before we first consider the beam that is in our own eye. I call this the hypocrite's conundrum. The hypocrite's conundrum is the ability to see clearly the problems in others while we are very often blind to our own problems. We can be incredibly skilled at identifying even the most minor inconsistency or issue in someone else from like 1,000 yards away, but we can fail to see the 12-foot-long 4x4 sticking out of our own eye for weeks or months or years at a time. The hypocritical reality is that the beam in our own eye tends to be of the same sort of issue or problem or inconsistency or sin that we identify as a speck in somebody else's eye. In other words, our sin looks incredibly sinful on other people, but we have a hard time seeing it in our own lives. And God wants us to do this hard work of biblical self-confrontation, biblical examination of ourselves. The challenge is clear. True discipleship unto Christ-likeness begins with honest self-examination. That honest self-examination, though, is very difficult, but that is what God is calling us to.